President Trump now suing Georgia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. The campaign focusing on the Chatham County Board of Elections, asking a judge to order the county to secure and make sure that these ballots are received after 7 p.m. on Election Day. We want to bring in our expert to give us some perspective, constitutional attorney Page Pate. We're glad to have you here, Page. And I'm taking a look at this right now as I am looking at the camera and looking at your Twitter feed at the same time, and not doing a very good job at either right now. But you've said earlier tonight that you believe the point of this lawsuit is not to win anything. You think it is to cause more division and doubt. You think it really is a case of politics.
Absolutely, Jeff. I've had a chance to read the lawsuit, and it is very thin. In fact, I consider it to be a frivolous lawsuit. What the Georgia Republican Party and the Trump campaign are alleging is that maybe, just maybe, some of the absentee ballots may have been received after 7 o'clock yesterday and were put with other absentee ballots that were received on time. But they have no evidence to suggest that late ballots were accepted. It's basically, we think this may have happened, so we want a judge to order them to segregate the ballots, the ones that got there before 7 and then the ones that got there afterwards. But we have no evidence that there's actually any fraud that occurred.
So this is the point that they are trying to make around the country as well, not just here, correct?
Exactly. I think this is consistent with what appears to be a national strategy in every state that's close, the states that are now critical to this election. They're going to go on the offensive, and they're going to file these lawsuits, even if they don't have actual evidence of fraud, just to throw some smoke in the air to see if they can cast some doubt on the validity of the results once they are finalized.
So, look, I'm not an attorney. Help me understand this. What kind of judge will now rule on this?
That's a great question. The election code in Georgia specifically requires a petition like this to go to the Superior Court where the ballots are being counted. So in this case, the lawsuit was filed in the Superior Court of Chatham County, which is Savannah, and it will go to a Superior Court judge there. In fact, I think it has already been assigned to Judge Bass, who will then consider the petition and either enter an order or require both sides to show up for a hearing, maybe a remote hearing, or perhaps even in person.
So as I was driving around today, I was kind of flipping back and forth between CNN and Fox, and I was hearing both of them talk about the role potentially the U.S. Supreme Court could play in this. Explain that to me, if you would, somewhat succinctly and without going on too long.
Well, that's going to be the challenge, Jeff, is to make it succinct. There are a lot of different ways a case could make it to the Supreme Court, but this case here in Georgia, I can't see any way that it makes it to the United States Supreme Court. The lawsuit they filed here in Georgia is very specific to one section of the Georgia Code. And again, it doesn't allege that anyone has broken the law or violated the code section. It basically wants the judge to oversee it. But let's assume there's a challenge in one of these other states, specifically Pennsylvania, which technically has a case right now pending in front of the United States Supreme Court. They did not issue a stay and overturn the state Supreme Court decision to allow those ballots after yesterday to still be counted. So that counting is going on. And so I understand that the Trump campaign is going to continue to challenge that. That could be the fastest case to end up back before the Supreme Court, the one in Pennsylvania.
So, Paige, when I hear you talk about legal issues, you're so smooth and you're so good. It makes taking the LSAT seem reasonable.
It never was, Jeff. It was very challenging, trust me.
All right, Paige.
For me, at least. For me, at least.
I think for a lot of us. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. I'll talk to you a little bit later. All right, Chris.